Hi everyone, it's Anja here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are making a pom-pom puff hat. Yes, recently we had lots of snow and I needed a hat, and I was desperate for a hat with a pom-pom, so I thought I would have to make my own, and the puff stitch makes it really nice and thick and warm. What do you need for this hat? I used Katia Big to Knit. Now this is a huge ball. I've also made a poncho from this ball, and this was my leftovers, so it was just enough for my hat. And I am also using a 6, although the wool itself is prescribed as a 7 to an 8 for a hook, but I am using a 6, and let's get started. As I have obviously run out of my wool, I am just going to use any ordinary chunky, but do bear in mind that you should be using a super chunky with hook 6. So I am going to get started with a magic circle and a chain. Then we are going to do 10 single crochets into the circle, and for US viewers that's a single crochet, for UK viewers that's a double crochet. And I want 10 V's around the edge of my work. So generally what I do is I do 9 single crochets, and then the 10th one is going to be my slip stitch. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and then we close the circle and we go into there, skipping that first chain, and we have our 10 V's around our circle. Now we are going to chain 4, and you yarn over, and this is a stitch that the chain is coming out of. We are going to go into the previous stitch, so yarned over, go into that stitch and pull up a loop and pull it up quite high. Again, same thing, yarn over into that same stitch, pulling up a loop again, and yarn over into that same stitch, and we pull up a loop again. This time you're going to yarn over, then you hold on to this bit here and you pull through all the loops on your hook like that. Then you're going to insert into there where you're holding the wool, pull up a loop, yarn over and do a single crochet. Next we are going to do a double crochet into, so this is the stitch that our chain is coming out of here, that one there. We are now going to do our double crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to yarn over and you're going to do the pulling up the loop once into the stitch that we had that chain coming out of earlier. So the previous stitch to where we did our double crochet, or our treble if we are talking about UK terms. I have done my yarning over and pulling up 3 times. Now I'm holding on to this bit here, pulling it through all the loops on my hook and going back into there to do a single crochet. Okay, so let me show you that again. So we do a double crochet in the next stitch. Now we are going to do our puff in the previous stitch. That previous stitch is the stitch where we did our double crochet in our previous stitch. So in there, pulling up, in there, pulling up, yarn over, pull up and pull up. There we go. Now we are going to yarn over, hold on to this bit here, pull it through all the loops on your hook, insert and do a single crochet. This is how you're going to continue your round, by doing your double crochet in the next stitch and your puff in the previous stitch where you did the double crochet in the previous stitch. There we go. And you hold on and you do a single crochet. Now, when you come to the end of your round, you will see that both stitches here have already been used, but that's fine because obviously that is what we are doing. We're using every stitch twice. So just perform your last puff, holding on and doing a single crochet, and then you find the top of that first stitch there, those chains, and you go in and you do a slip stitch, and that's your round finished. So just make sure you count 10 puffs. Now we are going to do a row where we are going to increase the puff stitches but not double them. Okay, so we are going to do 2 puffs and then we do 2 together, then 2 puffs and then we do 2 together. So I will explain. So let's start with chaining 4, and we are going to, so this is where we start from. Now we are going to go to the previous stitch and find the location where I want you to put those puffs. Now in each stitch you will see that you have this double crochet and then the puff going this way, and these are the holes that we are going to be using. So open up your stitches and find the location where that double crochet is coming out and your puff is going in the other direction. So that's where we are going to be working in. Okay, so chain 4 and into the previous place where I've just been showing you there. That's where we want to be working in. And again, you need to be pulling up really nice and high. Hold on to your wool there and go back in to do that single crochet, and we have started the next round. Now we are going to do a double crochet and we are going to find that place, which is here, in there, and do your double crochet. Okay, and then obviously this is a slightly different because we've just come out of there, but this would have been that location here. We go into there to do our puff stitch, pulling up really well, holding on to that last yarn over, pull through and do a okay, do a single crochet. I lost it all there. There we go. Okay, so that is what we look like at the moment. So that's just a puff on top of these puffs here. Now we are going to do 2 puffs in the next location. This is a little bit different. So we are just going to go into the same place where we did our double crochet just now. And on this side, where that single crochet is, there's a hole there, and that's where we are going to go in as well. Only on the increasing ones is this what we are going to do. For the rest of the hat, whenever you're not increasing, you always use those particular locations here. So this is one that I've done in between. Now we are going to do the regular one. Let's find the hole. There we go. And do the puff in that same location where we have what we have used already twice for the second puff as well. So there we go. Okay, so we've done 2 puffs on top of this puff here. Okay, so really we've sort of cheated a little bit by putting an extra puff in, but obviously we need it for our hat. So this is 1 1 2, and that's how you are going to continue doing 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 all across your round. And at the end of the round you will need 13 puffs. Okay, so I will see you when you have done that. I have now done 13 puffs all around, so I did 1 1 and then 2, 1 1 and then 2, 1 1 and then 2, and then another one, and I am going to do a slip stitch. There we go. So this is what it looks like now. This time we are going to chain up 4, and we are going to go round this time in a ratio of 1 2 1 2. So let's do the first one, yarn over and into that special spot there in between the double crochet and the puff. So this is 1, holding on and do a single crochet in there. So now we have to do 2. So first of all we're going to do another one in that same place where the chain came out of, or you know, where your double crochet came out of in the previous spot. So do a double crochet in there, and then you do a puff into that, or just below that single crochet that you did earlier. So that's our first puff of our 2. And now we do a puff in the normal location in that special place there, doing your double crochet in there, and then coming back to do your puff into that location where we have just put that double crochet of the previous stitch, and doing your single crochet like so. So you've got your 1, and then you here have your 2. And the same thing again into there. So you're going to repeat this all the way round, and you should end up with 21 puffs. There we go. So now we're at that double puff again. So first we try and get one in here. We add a puff, and then we do one in the normal location. And to find that spot, sometimes you just have to pull open your stitch a little bit, but once you know where to find it, it's quite easy to locate it. Don't go in between or anything like that, because that will give you bigger holes in your hat, and you don't want any holes in your hat. So 1 2 1 2. So keep going like that until you reach the end of the round, and like I said, you should have 21 puffs. I have now got 21 puffs going round. I am going to find that top here of that chain and do a slip stitch. Now, although it's still lying flat, this is sort of the top of your hat. Look, it is a little bit dome shaped if you want it to be, but it will get better now because we are just going to start going round, not adding any more puffs. So we are just going to now start rows of puffs but not increasing anymore. So let me just show you again. 1 2 3 4, and each time you're going to work in those spaces here, that special spot sort of like in between that double crochet and your puff, and that's the only places you will be working in, right? So no more trying to put them anywhere else. Those are the only locations that you will be needing. There we go, and a single crochet, here we are. So here we pretend as if that chain came out of this spot here. So we go to that next spot here, there we are. We do a double crochet and we go into that place there of the previous puff, and that is how you are going to keep going round. I have forgotten how many times I've yarned over now. I think that was all right. And we do our single crochet there to finish the puff. There we go. So that's how you're going to keep going all the way around. Now I suggest you try on the hat, of course, because if it's too big or too small you might need to adjust here. So keep trying on your hat, and when you think it's long enough, so I just kept trying it on, and here it wasn't quite long enough, so you just keep going on. Let me just measure for you how tall it is. Oops, that's the wrong side of my so from the top, where I have from the middle, it's about 23 centimeters long. Okay, so I have measured from there. Right, so I've now got here 8 centimeters, so I will have to keep going, doing the same thing as we were, slip stitching, chaining up, and then going back and doing your first puff, and keep on going that way until it forms a hat like this. And then your last row, instead of doing any puffs, what I did half double crochets, and I picked up the V's that are on top of my work here. So I just did half double crochets in there, and I tightened them really well, because obviously this was going to be the edge of my hat. So just picking up the V's like so. And then of course anything that I had left over, I rolled it around my iPad like so, and I put some wool between it, tied it up, and that was my poncho. I then attached it to the middle of my hat using this hole here. So I put it through, and then I wove it all in through there. And that was my snowy hat. And I have wanted a hat with a pom-pom for such a long time, so finally I've got a pom-pom on my hat. And this is me outside in the snow with my hat. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!